It's important to take care of ourselves. A lot of people forget that. And here's a reminder of how we can. The hardest part of taking care of ourselves is making things into a habit. Hopefully these tips will help you do that. Okay, so first thing is talking. We know by now that talking is going to help us get through situations, but often we just simply don't do it. But a good tip you could do is, once you have someone that you trust and that you can listen to, is to schedule a time. Message them, say, look, I'm not feeling too great. Can we talk at this time? And if they're a genuine person, then they'll make the time for you, and then they can give you the attention that you deserve during that conversation. But maybe talking's not your thing. Maybe it's not your strong point. But there are ways you can express yourself without talking to someone directly. So, for example, you might start something like blogging, and you might find that as a bit of a release. Or podcasting, so speaking into the microphone out loud to yourself could be a bit more of a release, and it make you feel a lot more comfortable than expressing yourself and leaving yourself open to somebody else. Okay, next is hydration. Again, something we already know, but something that I guarantee a lot of you probably still don't do. So they recommend drinking at least 2 litres of water a day, and a good tip is carrying around a bottle with you everywhere. I have a 750ml bottle that goes everywhere with me, and all my friends would completely rip me because I'm constantly at the toilet, but it does make you feel a lot better. Another good tip is to have a full water bottle next to your bedside table in the morning, and taking a good few gollops in the morning. And basically that's doing is it's setting a precedent for the day. And to be honest, it does make you feel a lot better. Okay, next up is meditation. When people think of meditation, they think of a Buddhist monk going Om and focusing on the breath, when really all they're doing is they're just training their mind to focus on what they want to focus on. So a good tip, a way I like to meditate, is I pick a happy memory and I focus on that happy memory. And as soon as I realise that the mind has drifted away, I bring it back to that happy memory. Okay, good few reasons for doing this is it's starting to show your mind basically who's boss, and also makes you feel good as well. Right, next one is exercise. We all know we should exercise, but a lot of us just sack it off and don't do it. But I think a lot of that comes down to people feel that they need to go all the way to a gym and have a big 45-minute session and beast themselves for it to somehow count. When it really doesn't. You can start making them into micro habits. So you could start doing home workouts, and again, only for a couple of minutes, and you could start to build it up. And like anything, the hardest part is just getting started. So once you've started and you know you're only going for a few minutes, most of the time you'll end up finding some motivation to do a bit more anyway. Okay, next is trying to keep busy. A good way to keep busy is to write down lists. A lot of people think, though, that in your list everything needs to be really significant, but I find putting down really minuscule things can help as well, and it just makes a difference psychologically when you start ticking all these things off. Another good thing to do is a reverse list. So at the end of the day you can then write down all the things, again, can be very mini things as well, that you've done throughout the day, and that can have another good psychological impact as well. Okay, next one is meal prep. So we all know we should eat healthy, but for some reason when we drive past that big yellow M, before you know it, you're 2 cheeseburgers deep and you're feeling really guilty. So a good way is to meal prep. And what you're going to do is, when you do have motivation to eat a healthy meal, you can make that portion size into 3 or 4 and box up the spare ones and put them in the freezer. So that way, when you're driving past the Big M, you know that you just have to get your food out the freezer for 10 minutes and it'll be ready. And that can help you out a lot more. Okay, last thing is acknowledging ourselves. So often we're not very good at that, so we might not accept compliments straight away, and we might find that a bit awkward or difficult. A good thing to do is to write down a list of all the things that you like about yourself. That might be difficult at first, so you might ask your partner or someone close to you to maybe give you a few things, and try and remind yourself of these a few times a day. And try and make it fit inside your routine. So you might do it in the morning before you go to sleep, whenever's convenient for you, and I guarantee it'll make you feel a lot better about yourself. I think it's important to remember that making things into a habit is difficult. So if some of these do fall by the wayside, don't kick yourself about it. Just get straight back to it and try and make them into micro habits. So again, doing all those things on a mini scale throughout your day, and then building up, trying to make them into a habit is probably the best way to go. Okay, so hopefully you find some of these tips helpful. If you do try any of them out, please let me know, because it'll make me feel good to know that I've made a difference. So again, thanks for watching, and remember to enjoy.